Welcome back to the Where to Ride in Toronto series. This is Exhibition Loop. Here we are exiting the Martin Goodman Trail at Lakeshore Boulevard, and we're heading northbound on Strawn Avenue. To the left here, you're going to see a beautiful Princess Gate, which is a popular spot to go meet with your group because there's no car traffic there and it's a large area where people can gather. On this day, it was middle of the day, so it's a little bit busier than in some of the other videos. However, I just straddle the line here and make my way up to the left-hand turning lane as we will be moving towards the left. I'm going to keep this video in real time rather than fast forwarding through, so bear with me while we're at this intersection here at Fleet Street and Strawn. And another thing I'll mention is when we are crossing through to the left-hand turn, there are streetcar tracks here. They both flow into the Exhibition GO station. So when we cross those tracks, we're going to make sure that we cross them in a parallel manner so that our tire doesn't slip into any of the rail track grooves and lead us to crash and fall on our face embarrassingly. So here we go, following this dump truck. Going to turn left. You'll see one of the famous Toronto streetcars here, just in the red and white as we come through the intersection. And then as we take this slight left-hand turn here, we are now officially in Exhibition Place. So this is a lap that I do. This actually was the week that I finished my 1000th lap here. However, this week is special because they're preparing everything for the Honda Indy race, which is coming up in the middle of July. So I wanted to get out and film it and show you what it looks like without any cars. Now there are maintenance staff out and about around the course, but here on Princess Boulevard, we'll only see a couple of those. And as long as you're mindful of the staff and making sure you're not being, a douche, they're usually pretty happy to let you just ride around and enjoy the fact that there's no cars there to kind of cause you any anxiety when it comes to traffic accidents. So coming down along here, you'll see on our left was actually the X Hotel, and on our right is one of the convention centers. I believe it's the Enbridge Center. So a lot of different conventions down here, sporting events. I know the Hydrox was held there just a while ago. So now on this course, we only have a couple of intersections we have to be mindful of, and we're coming up to one of those now. During this week, obviously there's no traffic, so we don't have to worry, but here at Nova Scotia Avenue, you'd want to make sure that you're checking to your right, that there's no traffic coming out. And actually you can use that as a short turn if you want to do shorter laps. You have shorter intervals or whatever your purpose is. And then here on our right we have the BMO Field, which is where the Toronto Argonauts and the TFC play their professional soccer and football games. So coming up here to the end of this Princess Boulevard, we're going to have a blockade on this day. The night before when I rode, the blockade wasn't here. I wish I'd filmed then, but on this day I just made sure to slow down all the way down, and I had to use the sidewalk. But typically you would be going through this intersection without these blockades. It's a right-hand turn, so you can carry your speed. Again, make sure on the left-hand side of you there's no cars coming, but it's a bike lane. Right there we pass the mounted police, and they actually have their stables on the back side of this loop, so you'll often see them walking the horses around this track. So that's a little change, especially when you're in the big city. Seeing big, large, rural or farm type animals is kind of cool. Now we're going to continue on the back side, which is Manitoba Drive. So this is, again, the whole lap is flat and fast, so there's no real gain, maybe a meter up and down. To the right there we see one of the fire stations in the city, very, very active. You see all the preparations, all the vehicles ready for the Indy weekend. They're doing some tests. And then there's a lot of construction going on in the last few years here. The Gardiner Expressway here to our left has been torn down and they're building it up, or at least one of the lanes as well. They are starting to make progress on the GO station that will be changing and coming into the exhibition area. And then this is the second intersection we have to be mindful of. That's that Nova Scotia Avenue, which is the opposite end of where we would have went in had we taken the right the first time. And there are the Toronto Police Stables. Again, this is a pretty fast lap. It's about 3 kilometers long, just under 3 kilometers. So you can get it done with good power, probably between 3 and 5 minutes, depending on how fast you want to go. The roads aren't the smoothest, but they're also not bad. I mean, I've done 1,000 laps here, so I must like it a little bit. So this is the last section we're coming into. We can see the CN Tower there on the horizon. Beautiful reminder of the city we're in, Toronto. And we're going to come around and have a slight right hand. And there's a couple of maintenance garages here that you'll notice staff coming out of here and there if you are down here. Just be mindful of them. Make sure they're on golf carts a lot of the time. So you just have to make sure you're easily seen by them and looking at them in their mirrors. So if they can see you, you'll be fine. And then we're going to finish the lap off here, taking a right-hand turn. This is the last intersection we have to be mindful of. Check to your left, make sure there's no cars merging into this area where we came in from Strawn. And we can take a strong right-hand turn and finish the lap up. And that's it. Thanks for joining. See you in the next one.